Hey there neighbors, and welcome back to CG Family Farm. As you can see, we've already got started, but don't you worry, you're still in time because we'll be showing you how to put up one of those 3-board fence, which is pretty easy. And then we'll be moving right along to show you how to put up some trellis panels to add a little bit of privacy. Then we'll top it all off with a nice little DIY arbor for your garden or your backyard, which will look really nice. So stay tuned till the end, guys, because this is going to be fun. So with your 3-board fence, it's pretty simple. All you do is you make your 24-inch hole. I used to be making them out of 18 to 20 inches deep, but it doesn't make it as sturdy. So now I'm doing 24 inches all the way down, and it's so much more different. That's solid right there. It ain't going nowhere. So 24-inch deep hole, and then after I do a 24-inch deep hole, we got some concrete. I put my concrete in a wheelbarrow. That way it's a lot easier to scoop out with a shovel. I put a whole bag of concrete in my wheelbarrow, and I do about 4 posts with an 80-pound bag of concrete. So I put just like a 1/4 of a bag inside one of those 2 feet deep posts, because the rest of it, to save you some money, I'll go through and I just pour in there some gravel. The crush and run gravel does really good to actually seal up and grab that post. You could do a lot more concrete if you like, but it's a lot cheaper if you grab a load of crush and run gravel to put in there. So then I put my crush and run gravel all the way up, and then I got my sturdy post. Next, we measure from post to post, which is 10 feet is the way that we like to go with a length. We don't like to go to 12 feet because we've done that before and it's just too flimsy. So we like to go 10 feet from the next post. Little advice on this is that you can put a string down on one side of the post, put another T-post down on the other side, tighten up your string as much as possible. When you tighten up that string, then you can go through there and start making your holes. You might have to make your holes a little bit more one way or the other, which that's what we did, because at the end, every now and then you start seeing a little bit of waviness. So when you start seeing that waviness, you got to move that post hole out a little bit further just to make sure it's nice and straight. So visually, I think this looks good. And finally, it's the preference of how much space you want to give your decking boards. That's what we're going to be using for our fence and decking boards. So from the bottom up, I gave it just 1 foot. I gave it 1 foot right here. But then the other 2 boards, I figured 1 foot just wasn't enough spacing. I wanted to make sure it looked appealing from a distance. So what I gave it is 14 inches to the next one. I gave it 14 inches, put my mark right there. And then I know the width of a decking board is 5.5. Measured it right there. And then I move on up to the next section. And I measured the other decking board up here. So now that they're all measured and marked, we're gonna go through and we're just gonna put all the boards all the way across. You can be putting up the boards as long as you got a clamp. You clamp it on one side, drill out the other, and it's pretty simple. But if you got some help, it's a lot quicker and easier. Plus, it makes for good family quality time. It's always good to have a circular saw close by, because sometimes you want to make sure they meet up right in the center. That way they're a lot more secure. Like this one right here, we're going to have to cut it, make sure it's nice and centered, and then we'll continue down the rest of them. Right here. Much better. Now we can go on down the line, and we'll probably have to cut a few more just to make sure they're centered, but it's better that way. Let's keep going. There we go, not too bad. Now that we're done with our 3-board side of the fence, now we're gonna go down here and do the privacy side when we put up the trellis panels. So on your trellis privacy panel, this is what we decided it would be easier to do. All right, put it up. As you can see, depending on the angle of your land, you may end up with a little bit of an angle on the trellis because they're a perfect 4x8, like down here. In order for us to actually meet up right in the center, we're actually gonna have to cut this trellis. So get your compressor ready and your staple gun or your trim gun, and that's how we'll be putting it up. So that decking board on the bottom is not only just for show, it actually helps you with a little bit of support. That way that trellis, as long as it is 8 feet, it doesn't become that flimsy. We're gonna support it. I went down about 1.5 inches on that decking board. Now we're just gonna staple it down and we're gonna secure it in place. There we go. Not too bad. 1 down, 6 more to go. I'm about to show you why it's a lot better to be using crushed and run gravel than just all cement. If you use just concrete, it'll take probably a few hours, maybe a day, until you actually can secure your post. If you use crushed and run, it'll take minutes, maybe even seconds, honestly. See that? That's gonna be a lot quicker to get sturdy than it is if you just put all concrete in there. That's a matter of just minutes. It'll get a lot more solid. So now you can actually put the rest of your boards and it'll be a lot easier. And there it is, guys. As you can see, we got our nice little privacy fence all put up with those trellis panels. It actually came out pretty good. It takes some measuring, some remeasuring, some cutting here and there to make it as good as you want it to be. But remember, guys, we're not experts, but we take pride in what we do, right? So we're gonna wrap things up for today because I gotta work this afternoon. But tomorrow I will be finishing up the little entrance that we said we were gonna be doing, the little arbor. We'll be doing that tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'll give you a few seconds so you can like this video, subscribe to the channel, guys, and we'll be right back.